Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the Minecraft update videos. They have some very good news to share with you all because Minecraft Village and Pillage is now officially available for both Minecraft Java and Minecraft Bedrock. It's called 1.11 on Bedrock and 1.14 on Java, and if you only play one of those platforms, you probably assume it's exactly the same on both, right? However, despite the fact that you would assume this and that Mojang kind of implies this, in fact they explicitly said it on the Xbox homepage, so even Microsoft has made this mistake themselves. Despite that fact, they're very different updates because Bedrock had it split across 4, and because Java has features still not available in Bedrock just came out in this update, and I want to talk about those exclusive features which are currently only available in Java and which just came out on Java today, because here are the exclusive Village and Pillage features you can only play on Java. You might be interested because you want to check them out, or you might be curious as to what's coming to Bedrock down the line. Either way, let's talk about all of them in today's video, which I hope you all do enjoy. So you can like this video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like the Minecraft update stuff. But let's dive straight into it, because I wanted to talk about the very first feature, because everyone loves foxes, right? They are just pure adorableness. Look how cute these guys are. But this feature right here only exists on Minecraft Java Edition. It was actually voted for at Minecon Earth. This was something that people wanted to see, right? Like, yeah, foxes and the tiger biome update as a whole. And although the rest of the tiger biome updates come, these features are exactly the same on Java and on Bedrock, with very few minor differences. However, the biggest of the three, the new mob, is not here. If you look at this mob right here, this is a Java exclusive. If you want to have a mob which can sometimes take your swords, that's a real thing, by the way. These guys will take any item and run off with it in their mouth. They're super cute, they're super adorable. You can sort of domesticate them a little bit, and it's a feature only available on the Java edition, and it won't be available in Bedrock for at least another 3 to 4 months. That's the short-term estimate. They're kind of being pushed off for quite some time for Bedrock, and that's really weird given the way this was kind of featured. Again, this isn't really seen as a Village and Pillage feature, it's just in the Village and Pillage update, but explaining that is really confusing, so instead it's just kind of left out to the side, and a lot of people are expecting foxes, and they're not going to find them, which I think is kind of a tragedy. And, you know, we could take this a step further, I think a ridiculous step, and say, you know, this is clear that only Java Edition respects democracy, whereas the Bedrock is a little bit more wish-washy about it. But again, more seriously, it's just that the Java team worked a lot faster than the Bedrock one in this case, and it meant that the Bedrock team just didn't have time to release the foxes and get them working before this update. So, speaking of things that the Bedrock team did not get working in this update, let's talk about another feature, because there is a brand new banner pattern available for Minecraft Java exclusively. If you throw your banner in there and you use the glow pattern, which is a thing you can now craft, you can get banners that look like this on Java. We'll show you another one with white and green. I think it looks a lot clearer if you use a white banner background, but there is a brand new banner which you can find in this update. It looks a little bit like this, and it shows that the Minecraft world is in fact a cube. It's not flat, but I mean it's like flat on 6 sides, and yeah, I think this is a really cool banner pattern. I think it's a really interesting one, but it's only available on Java, and for the most part, most people don't really care too much about that. You know, obviously when banners work on shields properly of Bedrock, it makes sense this should come, but right now, Java exclusive, rather weirdly in my opinion. Like, man, I just want to show people that the Earth is a real cube and it's not flat, but you can't do that on Bedrock, which means, again, I mean, just for fun here, let's uncharitably say that means that the Bedrock team are clearly flat earthers. Again, clearly a joke. This is all just meant to be informative. I'm not saying they actually are anti-democracy flat earthers. Please don't take that as fact. But if you want to take other things as actual facts, let's talk about a brand new thing you can only craft as of this update, because here's a brand new interesting recipe you can make in Minecraft 1.14. It's actually interesting enough not available in creative. If we go to creative, so let's do that right now, you can see how, like, oh yeah, let's search for the brand new, because I heard in one of those snapshots there was suspicious stew, but it's not a thing you can search for actually. It's a thing that if you want to find, you need to make a crafting table, you need to make some mushroom stew, so oh yeah, it involves some bowls I think, and it involves some mushrooms and some other mushrooms, which by the way, shapeless now, but then if you throw a dandelion in there, this is something you can only do on Java, you'll get suspicious stew. It's really suspicious. It's like your uncle who's always looking a little bit shifty, and you're like, you know, Stu, is there a reason that you're in my room right now and some money's missing? You don't know, that's just your fun uncle, suspicious Stu. But no, yeah, basically if we go back to survival, because we need to drink anyway, there's a really interesting thing, because if you use any flour, you get a different suspicious stew, but you can't see which flour was used in the end result. So if we make the exact same recipe, but we switch out the flour entirely, so we're in survival now, but we'll make the exact same thing, we can now make a allium-based recipe, and now we've got 2 of the same looking item, but they're very different. The allium stew, I forget which one this gives you, but this gives you the fire resistance effect for 3 seconds. Not that handy, but what you get from the suspicious stew with the dandelion in, it's amazing. It's the first time you can get saturation in survival. It's really cool, it's amazing, and it's a thing you need to get. Speaking of things you need to get and suspicious stew, you know how there's a mob missing from 1.14 that's not on Bedrock? Well, that's something they would only ever do once, I reckon. That's something you can't expect to see elsewhere, but it's actually a second mob, which was kind of like a fun joke mob that was added to the Village and Pillage update for Java, but is not on Bedrock. And yeah, let's talk about this one, because I think this is so interesting. If you have a mushroom in your world, and you either get it hit by a trident with with channeling on it, or you have lightning, which of course you might have seen earlier. We definitely do have lightning. Then when the when the mushroom is hit by it, he'll turn brown. And yeah, this is super interesting to me because a second type of mushroom, how cute, how fun. Look, 2 mushrooms together. These do not exist yet on the Java version. Also, the brown mushrooms, if you decide to feed them a flower, like say you give them a dandelion because you know it's the best flower to feed them, then they'll produce the suspicious stew when you milk them, which I think is a super fun feature. So yeah, you can now milk suspicious stew, which I think is a real suspicious feature, if you ask me. Honestly, I'm mostly excited about the brown mushroom coming at some point. I think most players wouldn't use it. I think it's a sensible feature to cut. I think we're talking about 1% of Minecraft players, and that's off the players who play on a regular basis, who are ever going to care about this in survival, but I still think it's cute. I think it's adorable. Why is it missing? Mojang? I don't know. But yeah, so I guess Minecraft, Mojang, whichever team you want to call the Bedrock team. But speaking of things that they are missing, notice right here, there is this black flower that hurts you a little bit when you stand on it. It's quite a tragic thing. It doesn't hurt you too much, but it's still like, hey, why am I hurting right now? And the answer to that, why is that brown mushroom hurting? Because it hurts everything. And the answer to that is the wither rose. It's a brand new flower. It's interesting because the cornflower came to Bedrock really early, and the wither rose did not. And that's weird to me because this is such a simple item. It's like, oh, it's a rose that's black and also hurts you a bit. But it's not available on Bedrock for reasons that have never been clarified. You know, the fox is very clearly like, hey, we ran out of time. The brown mushroom's probably in the same category. The other ones have never been explained. But with rose, it's like, but what's, you added the other flower? What, did you forget about this one? Or what's the deal there? And I would charitably assume that, like, yeah, they probably ran out of development time. You know, the Bedrock team seems as though they had a lot of other priorities this update. Like, they want to get scripting working and all that other sort of stuff. And as a result of that, they missed out on the wither rose. But yeah, it's never been clarified publicly. And I think that's kind of a quirky little strange thing. So speaking of quirky little strange things, you know those Noteblock songs, because everyone loves a good Noteblock parody on YouTube, right? You know how on Bedrock you have way fewer sounds? Well, the gap got wider in this update because on Bedrock you cannot do this to get some brand new sounds. So yeah, if you place a pumpkin on there. Oh wait, we did that entirely the wrong way around. Let's try that again. If you have, you know, let's just pretend this was intentional. Like, oh yeah, I wanted to have a dock with note blocks below and above my things. But yeah, by the way, also when you crouch, you go way low on Java, which I just think is like super strange. Like it's a real crouch now. But yeah, let's talk about the fact that if you now have these things below your note blocks, they make way different sounds. I love this sound. I love this one. It's like a banjo. And I think this is interesting. But yeah, we've got 2 amazing new sounds and 4 other sounds only available on Java, not available on the Bedrock. And yeah, so what is my point of all of this video? I'm just saying, like, so here are some features, because these are the major ones. There's a few tiny things here and there. There's a lot of parity differences they're working on. But the deal is that the interesting thing about this update is that they cleared so many hurdles and they really wanted to release it everywhere at the same time. For the sake of marketing, I think they wanted to get the Village and Pillage update out at the same time, because last year they got the update Aquatic out at the same time, but it was phase 2 for Bedrock and it was, you know, like the full thing for Java, then some features were lagging and people got confused and there was a day gap. This year, I think they put a lot of effort into making sure that the update's released not only on the same day, but at the same time. If you didn't see the earlier video, literally the 2 updates launched at the same time. It was 4 PM UK time, so we're talking, you know, like I guess midnight Japanese time or 8 AM on the West Coast of America time. We're talking perfectly synchronized timings between these versions, and I think that was a key part of the philosophy going with this update. I think they realized that there's a confusing mesh of marketing between the fact that the Bedrock Edition is the larger version in terms of the number of sales and in terms of the amount it makes them, in terms of the amount of like, you know, like I guess it matters because there's more players, but the Java Edition has the bigger community, and a lot of people don't know there is a split split between Java and Bedrock, so rather than trying to promote two separate updates, why not just release the same update on the same day, call it the same thing, and that's what I think the Village and Pillage have suffered for. It's, there is a inconsistency between the two versions, which could easily be described as like, oh yeah, 1.13 now add all these features, but instead it's just kind of listed as, oh no, it's got all the same features. I mean, foxes, if you really dig into it, they're not there, but there are some key differences, and if you're not aware of that, it might bite you in the wrong places, because yeah, not having brown mushrooms, you might spend a long time working out why. Not being able to find foxes, you might spend some time working out why that is. With roses, you might look around forever. I think these sorts of things should be signposted as future features, and just in case you didn't know before this video, now you know, here are some future features. They definitely will come to Bedrock at some point, it's just a matter of when. Is it 4 months? Is it 8 months? Is it a year? Or is it 5 years? We don't know exactly for anything, but I would assume sooner rather than later, because like I said, Bedrock generally is the faster updating platform. It just hasn't been this year because they've been focusing a lot on the modding APIs and stuff like that. At least that's my take on things. But yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this video. Let me know your take in the comments down below. I'll keep you up to date if these features do get official announcements. But for now, there are 2 updates, both called the same thing, and it's a bit bizarre, and I hope you will enjoy learning about that. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.